is blogging still worth it? Because I have a blog. I hardly post to it anymore. I've got at least 120 drafts that I still need to go through and finish editing and all that. But it's like, for me, my traffic since like 20, I want to say 18, just tanked. And you could argue, well, Dylan, why don't you just start promoting it via your Twitter? Which I think that's what your answer is going to be, just because I've seen kind of what you do. But is blogging still a viable, I guess, asset to build, especially for somebody through the context of, I've got a Twitter following, I already have an audience. I'm not saying from a straight beginner, somebody that already has an audience. Would you recommend putting time into a blog versus I already put out almost a daily email to my newsletter? So I could repurpose that as blogs, I guess, but would you recommend people getting into blogs if they already have an audience in social media?
I would say social media and blogging are orthogonal businesses in a sense where the revenues aren't very interlinked. And I'll tell you what I mean, okay? So I make a lot of money from Twitter because that's my biggest platform. And I'll give you an example of a guy who has almost no presence. Like his social media accounts are really, really small, like 4,000 people, whatever. And he makes like over 25K a month from basically just a blog in SEO. And his name is John Anthony. He's on masculinedevelopment.com. So he has an entire course on how to do SEO, how to build a blog. It's called Blog Money Blueprint, which I ended up taking. It's a very good course. And the guy makes like 20K a month from just a blog. And the blog basically, like, they use SEO to get people in, they take their email ID, they promote various products, etc. So it's an entirely different business. It's like, I would not say blogging is dead because, I can give you examples of people making a killing from blogging, and I can see examples of people making, say, a lot of money from social media. So they are different things. It's like motorcycle racing versus car racing. Which one is better? Like, they're both good. You can do both at the same time. In fact, it's probably for the best that you do both at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, they are orthogonal to each other. Do both, and you can make money from a blog. There are people making a lot of money from a blog. I have a few niche sites which are just a collection of articles and some affiliate offers here and there, and they make good money. And I don't even touch them. I maybe spend half an hour a year just updating the plugins. Blogging is definitely worth it. And even if you don't make a lot of money from the blog itself, it will teach you so much about writing, setting up sites, learning about SEO, etc., that it's worth it just in the learning alone.
Okay, so I like what you said there. It's like two separate businesses. It's like car racing versus riding a motorcycle. So if I were, for me, and I'm speaking for me personally now, like if I were to do that, I would probably just hire a writer to go through. Because I'm telling you, I've got so many articles that I've already written that I just need to go through and edit. So I would probably just hire him, and I've already know the guy that I would hire, and have him go through, make it a proper article, and start publishing it. So people claim blogging is dead. Why would you say that? I won't get into the personal details. It's a blogger that we keep talking about, but I saw his traffic numbers, and it literally went from like up here to, it got so bad that even my blog was performing better, which is, my blog wasn't like it was never like Cernovich level or Victor Pride level numbers, but like I compared my blog numbers or traffic numbers to his, or the guy that we're talking about, and it was like night and day. Like I was even doing better than his. So it seems that there's some algorithm change that made blogging not nearly as profitable. Maybe that's fake news. I've heard it from multiple people, but you're way more into the blogging stuff than I am now, because I basically got away from it. I mean, was there any key event that caused blogging to be dead, as people have been saying for a couple of years now?
Okay, so the history of blogging, right? So the way blogging started was people wanted to share their life, and they were basically talking about, random stuff. It used to be like personal blogs, and people would have like a blogger site, etc. This was before social media. So back in, say, the early 2000s, blogging was really popular. Everyone and their mom had a blog, and people would link to each other's blogs, etc. But when Facebook started and Twitter started, they kind of replaced blogs. They basically cannibalized it. So instead of having a blog, people would have a Twitter, a Facebook, where they would post a daily update. Earlier, they would make articles, and now they make Facebook posts. So that is why a lot of people think blogging is dead, and personal blogging is dead. Like if you're just writing about your life, what you did, I ate a Snickers bar, no one cares. It's dead. But an authority blog where you're actually like providing something of value to people, that will always be in business, because as long as you're helping people, it's there. It's just that the business has evolved over time, where now if you're starting a blog, it doesn't really make as much sense to just start a text blog. You also want to narrate your articles, make YouTube videos, make podcasts, etc., to grow faster. But there is still space for text-only blogs that add value. So I would not say blogging is dead, although this is a sentiment that you're saying, like, blogging is dead. That's the average person feels this way. But I
Right.
happen to know a lot of bloggers who make like 6 figures a month or $80,000 a month. And how can blogging be dead if people like this exist?
Okay, so